Hi guys, Zach here with another episode of Zero to Hero, and I'm sorry it's a little bit late today. I had to get all the triggers sorted out for this scenario, and I didn't really decide what I was going to do it on until not long ago. So this Zero to Hero episode is all about hill advantages and how you can use hills in the game or elevation to give you an advantage or a bonus. What I'm going to do is just check that the options are on low, because you can actually see the elevation a lot better when it's on low. So you'll actually see a lot of pros tend to play their games on low graphical quality because it does help to show the hills a lot better. As you saw there, when I changed the graphical settings, it did make a big difference to the distinguishability of the hills. Using big words already, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to click this champion here, and you can see this battle between my archer and Reds. You can see instantly that my archer absolutely kicked ass, and that was because my archer was on a higher ground, and my archer had a lot more HP left and it did a lot more damage. So that's pretty darn useful, and we'll look at that in more detail now. We've got a Janissary here, and Elite Janissary does 22 base damage. So 22 damage, and a War Elephant has 2 pierce armor, so that means the Janissary will do 20 damage every time it hits this War Elephant. As you can see, 20 damage is being inflicted every time. There we go, just to make sure. And sometimes Janissaries do miss. With gunpowder units they do miss sometimes. And now if we attack downhill, you can see it now does 25 damage, because 25% of this attack has been added on. So that means 25% of that is roughly 5 rounded, and that means we do an extra 5 damage on top. It also doesn't matter how far down the hill they are. If we attack this one down here, you'll be able to see that it still only does 25 damage. So as long as you are above your opponent on the hill, it doesn't matter how far above or how far below you are, the damage penalties and advantages will be the same either way. Also as well, if you're attacking uphill, you get a minus 25% attack bonus, and well, you can't really call it a bonus, but if you're attacking downhill, you get a plus 25% attack bonus. And that's basically how that one works, and we're just going to speed things up. We might even get a kill on this. No, we didn't. Right, okay, so that is the demonstration of ranged units. Now if we apply this to buildings, the same logic works. We've got a keep here which is doing 10 damage, and because buildings do have building armor, as you can see, this is only doing 5 damage here, and it will continue to do 5 damage for the duration of the attack because it's on the same level as this. Now if we attack downhill, you'll be able to see it does 7/6 damage. Now also it's important to remember, because it rounds the advantage up, so it does 25% extra damage, but it uses rounding, and there is a lot of behind the scenes bonuses as well, because palisades have our building bonus defense. Building defense armor, that's what I was supposed to say, and so therefore it doesn't always do the same damage, but it fluctuates between 6 and 7. And now we'll have a look at melee. As you can see over here, we are on the high ground, and we should win this fight purely because we have a hill advantage. As you can see, most of our guys stayed alive there, and we won that purely because we were on higher ground. And now our army's going to get killed by this bombard tower. King Philip I, you sneaky man, throwing up that bombard tower there. And so now we can demonstrate with trebuchets how it can affect them. So if we attack this with the trebuchet on the high ground, hopefully I'm attacking the bombard tower here and not a bamboo forest by accident. So we'll get one shot onto here, and then let's see. Pow, there we go. Pack that away. As we can see right there, it did 552 damage, which is actually quite a large chunk. It's almost, well, almost a quarter of its HP. Now if we attack from downhill and attacking uphill, we can see that the damage will be significantly less, and not just by a small amount, but by a very large amount indeed. There we go, hit it there, and we actually only did 331 damage that time. So as you can imagine, having trebuchets firing uphill is a big disadvantage. So when you're building castles, it's always a good idea to put them on the highest ground possible, due to the very fact that you will get an attack advantage from the castle, and you'll have a defensive advantage because any trebuchets or any military siege trying to attack your castle from the low ground will incur a damage penalty. So pretty much that sums it up. Hopefully I've covered that fairly well, and it's really important to use hills in any of your battles if there is hills around. Always try to get the high ground, even if you lose a couple of units in the process, because it will mean that you have the advantage overall. And yeah, I think that pretty much concludes this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Zach, and I will see you next time.